stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes. Welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
Mates.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. Here, interviewing the best in the game and in the boardroom, and we're covering it all, laughing at it all, while providing a platform to be heard. So you've been here with us in 6 seasons, so you guys know the drill. So we're going to jump right in, and we have to welcome our wonderful guest. All right, so she calls home the Ninth Island here in Las Vegas, a Liberty High School recent graduate. So congratulations on that. Walk down, getting that diploma. She's a 3-time gold medalist, and she is the first flag football player to receive a Division I scholarship. And we'll get into where she got that scholarship more. But please clap it up for our very own, our homegrown. We know her as Ki'LoLo, but Kiona Westerlund. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's keep that excitement going. How we start the show every episode as we ask for a shoot your shot moment. All right. So this is where you went for it all. So it could have been you calling an audible out there on the field or just something, a life lesson you learned, but just where you shot your shot. You went for your goal, you chased your dreams. Now it could have been something where you won, you took home the goal, you got another teddy, or something where you learned a lesson, you took an L. So kind of give us that shoot your shot moment.
So I think I have two. One,
Okay.
we were down by like a point. And we had about like 20 seconds left, and coach wanted to run the ball. I went to the quarterback and I told her just throw me the post. And I scored. Coach was mad because I didn't listen, so that was eye-opening. We just need to listen, but I mean, it still felt good. It felt like the right thing to do, but maybe it wasn't because coach is usually always right. But and then another example I think is just when I first started playing flag football. I've always played other sports. I played volleyball, I boxed, I ran track, literally everything else. I never considered flag football. So for me to kind of get into flag football and be terrible at it, and kind of just giving my all because I just felt very passionate about it. I knew that this is something I really wanted to do. That was just, I don't know, it was just crazy to kind of just jump into it. And now it's my whole entire life. I would have never seen myself in this position 5 years ago. So I would definitely just say like flag football in itself and the position that it has in my life.
That's dope. And I think coach will get over it. I mean, he y'all won, so I'm sure he could.
Yeah.
Very good. Lola, where your love for sports, where did that start?
I think my family is very competitive. They're competitive about everything. We could be playing Uno's always competitive, but we could be playing speed, any game. They're going to be competitive. So I think that's what kind of made me like love sports because it is always competitive. But then again, I also am very like friendly and outgoing. So I'm always talking to people and kind of getting to know people. Really made me kind of fall in love with flag football. I like playing every sport. I like doing something. I like staying active, all that kind of stuff. But I think like just seeing all the diversity that the sport gives or sports offer is kind of like my favorite part.
Yeah, I love that. So I knew about the volleyball, right? So you definitely played volleyball and was killer at that as well. Where did the boxing come in? And before you answer that, hold on, I got another quick question. What are the Uno rules? Are y'all allow stacking in that household? Like what's going on?
Yeah, we do. It depends. I think it depends. Sometimes my dad, like, he'll do something and we're like, you can't do that. He's like,
you can do that.
I make the rules though. Like, I think it's whoever we play with. Me and my siblings, we just be making stuff up. So
there you go. House rules, huh? Yeah. All right. So tell us about boxing, though. How did that like start? Was that out of creativity or was it like just wanting to try the sport?
So I didn't do it like super competitively. I kind of did it just to stay in shape. That's always going to keep you just ready for whatever sport I play. So like because I was playing volleyball, I always wanted to box and kind of make sure my core was right and everything was right to kind of get me just in shape for like whatever sport I was playing, whether it was basketball or volleyball or soccer. So I've kind of played everything just to stay active.
Love it.
So I know we'll talk more in the flag, but if there was another sport that piqued your interest or that you could go to it instead of flag, what would that sport be?
definitely, I don't know. I would say volleyball definitely has my heart. That was one of my first sports. Um, I don't know. I think about it every day. Every time I play volleyball, I'm like, dang, like imagine if I never played football and I just focused on volleyball. Like it's that sport that's like, wow. And I always kind of think of it. But I also really like pickleball. I was on the pickleball team this year. I was the only girl. It's pretty fun.
Wow.
I
All
also
right, talk to us about pickleball.
Yeah,
Like,
let's get into that. Yeah.
don't know. I just play. I don't know. I'm again like I'm very competitive, so I say I play for fun, but I'm really like all into it. But I mean, I played on the pickleball team for my high school a little bit. I was like the only girl, so it would get like super competitive. I'm just like, wow, I'm the only girl, guys. Come on. And like even going to like Sunset Park like early in the mornings, all the elderlies be there, so they be whooping me though. Like they really be getting into it. So I think it's just fun. Like it's just a fun sport to me.
and it's picked up popularity, so it looks like it's from all ages. So, MH, man, it looks like we need to figure it out and get out there, man.
I don't know if I'm there yet, but
You know,
maybe.
you're not there. I mean, we could be like she said with the
I,
elderly. Man.
yeah, I know she did mention. I still
Yeah,
think I
y'all
can
are
hoop.
almost there.
So,
Don't worry.
yeah, I think I can still hoop a little bit. So give me a couple missed jump shots.
You
And I'll
come-
get back up.
okay, love it. So, just we talked about this ninth island. We always want to, this is the platform to represent the whole you, right? Not just what everyone knows you as, right? Or getting to know you as. So talk to us about like being the ninth island and how much like all your cultures matter and how you support that.
Yes. So I think I'm just very thankful for it to be the ninth island. Like I feel like I'm always surrounded by my culture, on either side, and just kind of having like people around me that kind of understand, like I feel like our humor is a little different. We're a little more like just straightforward. So not a lot of people understand, but I feel like you can go wherever nowadays and they'll just understand. You can talk to them like they're your cousins. So it's just a good feeling to just kind of have people that understand you and understand the way you were raised and stuff like that.
Nice.
So yeah, just for this to be the ninth island is great. The food is also amazing. You get a little taste of home. Yeah, but I mean, I think
Now,
it's
what island is your family from?
so my family is from Samoa. Um, yeah, but a lot of my family grew up in Hawaii, so
Okay.
it's kind of just like we're kind of in tune with all the Polynesian culture. But yes, they are from Samoa.
Well, it's dope. I saw a little bit of a snippet from your graduation. So congratulations for
Thank you.
graduating, and mentioning your culture. There was a lot of things going on, and you were dancing to it. So talk to us a little bit about the accomplishment of graduating high school, but again, being able to express and display your culture.
Yeah, so graduation was amazing. I can't believe I'm just so old now, but it was great. It was great. Graduation was fun. Again, like my high school, Liberty High School, is definitely like very cultured. So you see a lot of that. Everyone's kind of wearing leis, whether you're Polynesian or not, kind of stuff like that. So that was already pretty cultural to me. After I came out, all my family, we had a huge banner. They're super extra. I mean, I'm super extra, so I wouldn't want it any other way. But yeah, they're all standing outside. We're getting lit, dancing. It felt like a party already, my graduation party. But my graduation party was also great. So it was definitely very cultural. I did, like the tawalunga, which is like kind of like just a dance to honor whoever came and honor my family and stuff like that. And I take a lot of pride when it comes to stuff like that because I am very family oriented. It's very important to me to just kind of honor them and just let them know that I'm very thankful for them. So that was very important to me. I was like so emotional, crying, but yeah, it was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we did all the line dances, get jiggy, boots on the ground.
And you are a dancer. That's definitely part of your MO, right? So, kind of moving on, right? Talk to us about the recruiting process. We could jump back into kind of playing days, but talk about the recruiting process to how you ultimately selected where you went.
Yeah, so a lot of the NAIA schools had it. They are smaller schools, but their teams are also really, really good. So I was talking to a lot of those schools. And then I actually wanted to go to Florida because they have a fire science program, and I do want to be a firefighter eventually. And then I got a call from Alabama State University, and um they hit me up and they told me that they were sanctioning flag football and if I was interested. And yeah, of course I'm interested. It's the first D1 school to get flag football, which is absolutely amazing to me. And on top of that, their academics are really good. I do, on top of a full ride, I have an academic scholarship, which is very important to me. I will be studying sports medicine, because I do want to stay, in the sports industry. So I think that was very important to me. Also, it's far, I'm excited to kind of be on my own and struggle a little bit and have some struggle meals every once in a while, but just being like away from my family and finding that independence and finding myself is also something that I really considered. I don't want to stay close just because my family, they're never gonna want to hold me back, and I don't want to just kind of be like always dependent on them. Even though they're amazing, they're always gonna have my back, they're always gonna do what they can for me, but that's also very important to me. And then the coach is great. I've played for her before. She is actually from California, but she went to Alabama to coach.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then just having like the opportunity to just be that first girl to have a D1 scholarship is absolutely amazing. And I feel like my goal is always to open windows and open doors for other flag players. And I feel like that's exactly what I would be doing. It is a start over. We're going to have to start brand new. We're going to have to build the culture, and we're probably not going to win right away. But again, winning is not all that we should be looking for. It's more than that. It's building something, it's building a program, and it's just creating history.
For sure. And I know as the flag football continues to grow and it's sanctioned across, a lot of different states, as that continues to grow, we'll understand what Lolo is. Lolo is what we know as a 5-star athlete, right? Like equivalent wise, she's like a 5-star. She's a blue chip. She's top 100. So when we talk about the recruiting process, I'm sure there was options, obviously, and you had a lot of different options. What about the campus when you visit Alabama State that was like, this is the one I want to do?
I would definitely say the culture. I actually went on homecoming weekend, so I got to go to that game, and it was crazy. It was insane. Like the band, like everybody, the stands, and I got to sit at the top. So I'm seeing everything. I'm seeing just everybody. The band was crazy to me. Like they were lit. They were getting it on. You know what I'm saying? So like it was great. And then I also got to see like the parade. And I don't know, like I feel like just the culture, and then the way that everybody kind of like um interacts with each other. Like everyone's so nice out there. Like they're like, "Hey y'all, how are you? Are you okay?" Checking on me. Like I'm like, "Wow, this feels great." So I think just the culture out there and the hospitality was just amazing to me. It really caught my attention.
Some of that Southern hospitality, and I mean, just
Oh,
overall,
and the
the
food.
HBCU. Oh, and the
And the
food.
food. Oh yeah.
And the food.
Yes. They brought you on the right weekend too.
They
Mhm.
brought you on the exact right weekend. But no, just to see that HBCU culture is going to be a great experience. And, we definitely want to chime in with you, like get you on a live or like a check-in status. Because I think that's something that, this show and this platform attempts to kind of highlight, because, a lot of us miss that because we don't hear that. And we don't have them here in the West Coast, right? There's not a lot here that are close to us in proximity to get that experience. So, and our destination is doing a good job, I should say, of starting to bring some of those experience here so we can see it. But it's nothing like being at that homecoming there. So,
Absolutely.
so good stuff there. Now, you said you had a chance to play for Coach. So, Coach Jennifer,
Yeah,
because Constable,
Constable.
yes. So, so I guess that helped a little bit, to have that familiarity with someone who knows your style of play, and that, maybe you guys garnered a little bit of trust, so that if you do have to change it to a post play,
Yeah.
post flag play to 23 seconds, she'll understand that. But what was that value, and what did that mean to you as far as the recruiting process and just understanding who she was?
I think it was a blessing. Like just having that opportunity to have played for her before gives me that kind of like security, knowing that I won't be led by the blind. You know, I've played for her before, so I'm going into this knowing that I'll have a coach that I'm comfortable with and that I can talk to. You know, she's very understanding. She always wants our input. You know, she's not always going to do it because that's not a coach's job, but she will always listen to us and always understand us. And I'm the type of player that just never shuts her mouth. I'm always talking, always have ideas, and I always have to get off my chest. So that helps a lot. Just knowing that she is that understanding coach, and she kind of just looks at everything in our perspective, including hers.
Lolo, talk about just the flag football culture here in Las Vegas and in Nevada. You stand on the shoulders of some obviously greats. Shout out to Hannah, who's won some national championships from playing here and everything like that. So, talk about the culture here of flag football in Nevada.
So I always say Vegas has the best flag football programs. You know, we have some ballers out here, but I would say we're very tight knit. You know, everyone kind of knows everyone. The flag football community is very close. Especially with the Raiders, they always put on a lot of stuff for us. So we get that opportunity to play with girls that we usually play against or get to see them and, just come together. So I would just say our flag community is very it's like a family. It's really like a family. You know, we get to know each other and understand each other. And again, like there's a lot of adversity. So it's just amazing to see. I just say we're growing every single day. You know, programs are growing. They're going to have to they're making more teams. They're making more programs and clubs. So it's just great to see. Even high school, it is very competitive. You know, that's when, I don't know, that's when everyone kind of comes together. They come to the games. It gets a little crazy, but even high school football is just insane. Like seeing the growth, from freshman year, no one came to our games. There was like a couple people that just finished track practice. They're like, oh, we'll just watch, and now like the stands are just getting a lot more packed and I just love to see it. So we're just growing. I would say that's like our key word. Growth is what I'm kind of seeing from our flag community here in Vegas. So, yeah.
So with your high school days, and we're going to move on after this, like, give us your scouting report, right? Like, tell us the positions you play, which ones you favorite to play. Because I've seen you coming out the backfield. I've seen you spread out wide. So, I've seen you on the defensive side. So kind of give us that scouting report of you.
So I've always played receiver. That's always probably been my favorite. I love scoring touchdowns. I love changing plays apparently, but that's always been my favorite. I do play defense. I play kind of everything. So my freshman year, I actually played middle linebacker. So it was just getting all the stuff in the middle, picking off the ball when I could. And then I played safety. I thought I liked that because I felt like it was just a little easier. I got to read the field a little bit longer, a little bit more. And I'm very communicative. So it's like, it was easy for me to say, hey, like, I got this, you got this. Are you good? And I felt like that was a good position for me. But I actually feel like I am stronger at corner. I feel like I like a little bit of competition. If they had taught me, then so be it. But I really like that competition and just that aggressiveness of playing cornerback. So I would have to say corner is my favorite and wide receiver. And don't ever put me at quarterback. And that's it.
Good choice, corner. Good choice. I love to hear that.
From the DB of the show.
Yeah, 100%. I love DB. So, man, starting the sport, and it's funny because for somebody that's as highly as recruited and talented as you, usually there's a long time. Those are like prototypes that are just been developed since they can walk, right? So you getting into the sport a little later. How was that? Just the start of getting into it.
Well, it was pretty crazy. Like I said, like I never thought that I would really be playing. So like I just started right before high school. And then I still played volleyball. I ran track. I played football in high school. And again, it still wasn't like my main sport. Like I kind of was just focusing on everything. What was the question? Sorry.
No, that was the question. And now to develop it to being basically a 5-star recruit, that process of it.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I think it's been crazy. Again, like flag football caught my attention from the jump. Again, like the flag football community in just Vegas in itself was incredible. And then when I traveled with my club team. I just realized that it's so much bigger than just Vegas. There's so many girls out there that have the same goal and same mindset. And like we're surrounded by so many like-minded people. It's easy to kind of just fall in love with the sport. And that's why I kind of just stayed dedicated, I was always catching tennis balls, or I always wanted my dad to train me whenever he was off of work, stuff like that. So I just was dedicated, and I once I put just my mind to it, I really knew that I was locked in. I wanted to do this. I wanted to be better, and at the beginning, again, I was bad. I wasn't starting, I wasn't doing all these things, but I was still in love with the sport in itself. So just having that dedication just kind of helped me like get where I am today. And again, with my parents, they're very supportive, and they're always just like, if you're going to do something, you need to do it to your fullest ability. So they're always going to push me to be that best version of myself that I can be. So it kind of came easier because I do have, a support system to kind of push me and just tell me like, hey, you need to lock in, you need to keep doing what you're doing. If you don't want to do it, then you don't want to do it, but don't have one foot in and one foot out. Just really focus and lock in.
Love it. So we're jumping into the career, right? And I know we're at the precipice, at the early beginning of it, but I mean, there's just so much. It's like you said, 5 years, really, right? 5+ years kind of getting into the game and getting started. So with that growth from where you started to where you are to, how you're working on things, right? What is your favorite part or you're most proud about your game? Because I know what my favorite part is. So I'm going to let you answer, then I'm going to tell you what my favorite part of your game is. So what is like your favorite part of your game?
I don't know. I think I would just say my energy. I don't know. Maybe my energy. I feel like I'd like to be like super. I love to dance. I love to yap. I just am very outgoing. I'll talk like to the ops, apparently, the other team, the opposing team. I'm always going to talk to them. I'm always going to be like, what's up? What's your name? What position do you play? All that kind of stuff. I think that's also what makes me like kind of stick out as a player, because I'm always talking to whoever, or always, making sure the refs are good, stuff like that. So I think that's probably my favorite thing.
And then you dust them after you talk to them.
Yeah, but it is still good energy. I feel like it makes it less bad because I already talked to you and I'm like, oh, it's okay. Good defense though, like type of thing. So it's like, I think I try to set the tone, set the mood, have good vibes for the game. Yeah, I think that's probably my favorite, but
it makes us laughing because he's thinking of something. He's got something, so I'm gonna let him let that out. My favorite part of your game is definitely your hands, though. I definitely love the way you look the ball in and like you're catching stuff, and like you won't see you on screen and you'll pop in and catch something and take off. So, but just like your hands, I think is probably one of the most amazing part of your game that I've of my limited time watching. But yeah, I love your hands. What do you get about it, H?
Nah, because I know Lolo is nice at receiver.
Yes.
And if you're talking to a corner, just friendly, and they're getting beat too.
That's so
it just took me back to a mental struggle in my life at one point of how angry that makes somebody. So that's all. That's all I was thinking.
And that's what I was thinking too. He's like, you're talking to him, and then
you can't be nice and beat me. Like, don't be cool and beat me.
That's that Jedi mind trick stuff. That's
it. I guess at the time, you're like, oh my gosh, look over there that I run.
Oh, love it. All right, so with all of this as you've been growing, right? You're entering into a world, but I'll start like you have some partners or some people that you're working with, right? So, and please correct me if I'm wrong too, right? Because I know this is a real crucial stage, but Under Armour, right? Like you've worked with them. I'll just say that you've worked with Under Armour. I can't, was it Snapback Talent? I don't know if they're like how they're working with you. There was another one that I can't, which is a whole bunch of letters. So was it Seismic? Is that what they're supposed to be? All right. So how has it been on that journey? And then we'll get into like NIL and other stuff, but how's it been with working with those or partnering with those? Like, how's that experience been, and how are you working through it?
It's actually been amazing. So, Sismic is a helmet company. They kind of started in flag football, just to kind of protect us. I wear it all the time as much as I can because these girls be aggressive. We need some protection. It gets crazier and crazier. So that definitely, I'm very thankful for. not just, like just to be partners with them, but just because it really protects us as athletes. Snapback Talent is my agency, so I do work with the agent. His name is Alex. We just started working together, so there's big things coming up. Stay tuned. And then Under Armour. I love working for Under Armour. I actually just did another shoot, so stay tuned for that as well. Coming out
That's
soon.
so exclusive. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, but Under Armour has been great. It's given me a lot of exposure as well. Like it's so cool to just walk in a mall anywhere and you just see your face on the signs or in the store. It's absolutely amazing feeling. Even when like I didn't even know that I was in the store yet, actually. Someone on Instagram DM'd me a picture and it was me. And I immediately went to the mall that day. Like I had to go right away and I was like, wow, but I really am like thankful. It's just been a blessing to kind of work with these companies. They also really take care of me. I'm very strategic with who I work for. If they're not benefiting me as a person alongside, whatever I make or whatever I'm getting from them, I just, won't do it. And that's exactly why I kind of committed to Snapback Talent, because they are they really care about, the person that I am. They're never going to make me do things that don't represent me as a person. I'm never going to represent a brand if they're not going to help my reputation. So that's pretty good. So yeah, I feel like I've just been blessed with those opportunities to just what's the word?
Find the companies, work with the companies. No, that's amazing.
Talk a little, and we'll get into some of the other things, obviously with the Super Bowl, but just going through the juniors program on the national team level, navigating that. How was that experience for you? And obviously a gold medal winner, you were successful at it.
Yeah, it was amazing. So USA has always taken care of us. Seeing the growth of that. I played the first year that they started that team, and it moved a little slow, but it was so amazing. We got to play other countries. It was probably like 5 or 6 countries. But now seeing the growth now that last year that I played, there's so many countries, and USA is just getting better and better at, organizing stuff and just taking care of us. And it's just been amazing. But alongside that, it's the growth of just the game in itself. And the fact that, we have a program that's allowing us to play, against teams that are from different countries and kind of growing that. It's just amazing. So for me, I really took that in. Again, I love to talk, so I was always talking to other countries, learning new words. I would learn how to say good morning and search it up before I go to sleep. And when I wake up, I'm like, oh, hi, good morning, like in their language. I just love, again, just the adversity, like seeing that the sport is not growing only in our community. I mean, community and country, but just worldwide is absolutely amazing. And again, that's more windows being opened for so many people around the country or around the world.
So MH kind of alluded to it. Let's just jump into it, man. Just the Super Bowl experience, right? So, hopefully most people have seen that commercial, and I know a lot of people ask you about that. So, we'll probably go a different route, but like a 3-day shoot, you're up there doing the different kind of moves. But I guess Marshawn's there. But of the shoot, I guess I want to ask you, like, what was your favorite part of the shoot?
Oh, maybe lunch breaks. No, I'm just kidding. But
and craft services, people don't know about that on commercials and movie sets. Yeah, craft services. But yeah, what was your favorite part besides the food?
I don't know. There were so many things that I loved. So the girls that they flew out were actually flag players from other countries, and then I also got to work with Ashley Clam and Vanita Crouch, which are 2 USA players. I got to work with them, and I feel like just getting to know them was probably the best part. In between, takes, we would talk, and I would get to know them and be like, wait, you're not even from here? That's crazy. And like they would just tell me about, their background and how they got into flag football. And I think I just really love that because, again, we're getting together to get to do something like this to open doors. And then also, I really love the Saquon jump. It only took me one time, so.
Yeah. Okay.
No harness, no nothing. Just
yeah.
I do that all the time. So
yeah, you do it in your sleep, huh?
Yeah.
So did you got to go to the Super Bowl, correct?
Yes.
How was that your first time in New Orleans? Or have you've been there
Yes,
before?
that was my first time. It was amazing.
So what'd you think? What did you eat? Because you've been talking
Oh
about food and I'm hungry. What was your favorite dish out there?
Yays, for sure. They're also my
Mhm.
mom's favorite, and I actually took my dad to Super Bowl, so we're just making her jealous. And was like, hey, no, but yeah, beignets were definitely my favorite. I don't think I've ever had one till I got there. Um, but yeah, we kind of ate just random stuff, like just a bunch of street food. We would go walk whatever street we were on. I don't know, but we would just stop by random places.
That's beautiful. Now you got 2 tickets and you got them from a certain somebody. So I'm
Yeah,
surprised you didn't say that was your favorite time on the shoot because that
I
actually
didn't
happened on the shoot, or did they recreate that to make it seem like it? You know how
see
TV
him.
does sometimes.
I didn't get to see him. I
Ah,
only got to see him like that certain part, like
right.
gave me the tickets, which was insane. I was like, oh my gosh. But we didn't get like that much time together. I did see Marshawn a lot. He was actually talking to my mom. They were just yapping and joking around. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he's literally an uncle. Like he might just be my uncle. So I was
Love
just
it.
unk the whole time. I think like everyone, kind of meeting everyone, getting to talk to everyone, even like all the extras. I thought that
Mhm.
was super cool because they just came out and they're just here having fun playing flag football for a commercial. So like that was super fun. I don't know. I think the whole thing was amazing. Even like the directors, like I'm not an actress, so when we go and we do stuff like that, and also I wasn't expecting the commercial to be that long, and I had so many lines, so they're like say it in a different tone, and I'm just like, wow, they're making me say it over and over and over again, and I'm just like, this is crazy. I don't think I could ever be an actress. So that was pretty fun. I think the experience in itself was just pretty crazy and like surreal. So I don't know. I tried to take in every moment, and we were there from sunrise to sundown. So yeah.
Excellent.
Oh,
Oh,
also,
what's the got for us?
sorry. Wait, what was it?
No, you said you got something
Yeah.
else. I didn't want to
Okay.
stop that.
So I also, because I was in school, they made me do schoolwork, and
Uh,
even though I finished all my assignments, it's law that I have to do schoolwork for like 2 hours. So just reading a book while everybody's just doing the Saquon jump and getting lit. But it was so fun. So
they
yeah.
still made you do homework. That's
Yeah,
crazy. What
that's
is this? All right. So last thing I have for the Super Bowl, MH, if you have anything else, you did a celebrity flag tournament, right?
yes.
How was that? And the one person, is it how you say, is it Kai Sion? Is that
Sanat.
Sanat? I
Yeah.
think that dude is amazing, man. He's he's on a whole different level. But
Absolutely.
I like what he's been doing. Like it's coming more and more like what he's doing for creators and gamers and blah blah blah. But how was that interaction with them?
It was so fun. I mean, I always am in the mindset that I was like, okay, I gotta act like I've been here before, like that whole weekend. I've never been in a situation like that. So I was just like, okay, I gotta be cool. I gotta be cool. I know I'm excited to meet everyone, but I just gotta be cool. And
Uh-huh.
I went and everyone was so like welcoming, which was so comforting because I was just nervous. Some people would just feel like they're too good for everybody else. So everyone being welcoming, being kind, was just amazing. Kai was pretty cool. He's our team captain. So he was just talking to us a lot in the locker room, giving us the motivational speeches. I was actually super close with Tiana Taylor, which was amazing because I just love her so much. But me and her were talking so much. We were around each other all the time, throwing the ball before the game. So just kind of getting to know all of our teammates. I did make a TikTok with Kai, so that was fun. That kind of blew up. And then I also made a TikTok with Drewski because, he's funny. But yeah, just kind of getting to meet everyone was just so fun. Like whether they're influencers or streamers or music, what was I gonna say? Music artists, like just a bunch of different like again like adversity. So it was just so cool. And then there's just like a flag football player. And then our coach was actually Angel Reese, so that was pretty cool. Like there's another athlete. So there was just a lot going on, but I just loved it. Like the whole chemistry that my whole team had, and then like, the other team, they're always talking, and it was just fun. It was a great
Once you,
experience.
once you find out you're going to be on the team, like how did that come, right? So you get the tickets, and then you got down there. Was that just like they kept adding that stuff on? Like you're like, oh, and
So,
and there's more.
yeah, so when Justin Jefferson gave me the tickets after they were just like, oh, like, like if you're going to Super Bowl, like you can go to the celebrity game. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be so cool. And I was like, that's actually so funny. I went last year and I was a photographer at the one last year. So I was just taking pictures. And then they were like, interesting. And then pretty much we got my itinerary the day that we were about to fly out, and they said celebrity game. And I was like, wait, when is, like, what do you mean? And they're like, oh, you're playing, by the way, which was insane. I was freaking out. And that's exactly what I had to have the mindset where it's like, you gotta act like you've been here before. This is crazy. You better get the content that you need. Like, this is just amazing. So yeah, I got to make a lot of connections there.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
What was the best TikTok then? Because I see you had Justin Jefferson he did a TikTok with you
Oh,
too.
that is
So
true.
so let's rank the top TikTok performances. Not, I know some of them probably perform better, right? Because if you got Kai, he's got numbers. But
Yes.
what was the best TikTok move moment
Okay.
dance produced, and give us to us.
Okay. So I would say number one is probably one with Justin Jefferson. Just because we get to dance. You know, I love dancing. We get to
Yes.
vibe. And he was just cool. Like, he's just very cool and like just laid back. So it was fun getting to see that side of him and not just like football. And that was a crazy moment. He literally just gave me Super Bowl tickets. So that was probably definitely my favorite. And then two is the one with Drewski, because that clip was going viral at the time with his tryouts for his show or whatever. So it was funny. I had to use a funny sound. And then Kai last. That one got the most likes, but it was just funny. He side-eyed me in the video, and yeah. So yeah.
Let me ask you that. I'm gonna show my age a little bit on this one. What is the approach to even starting like a TikTok? Say like, hey, do you want to do this TikTok together? Like, what is the approach?
So you got to be a little bit outgoing. So it's different. So for Justin Jefferson, I was just like, he gave me the tickets, and I was like, hey, can we make a TikTok? And he was just like, yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play it, and then you're just gonna follow me. And then Kai, I was like, okay, I'm about to make a TikTok, okay? So like, I already have my phone out, and I'm just like, I'm gonna make a TikTok. You're gonna be in the back. And then he was just a little confused, so that's why that video went viral, because he just looks confused in the back, and he's just like, "What are you doing?" And then Drewski, I just walked up on him. I was like, "Eh." Yeah. So I think it depends. It's the approach, because they're usually gonna do the TikTok regardless, but you can't just be like, "Oh, can I make a TikTok?" You can't be shy. You really gotta approach them, because they're always being approached. So like,
Yeah,
you gotta go. Or like, whenever they're making TikToks or making content with someone else, I'm like, okay, my turn, and then I just start it. Give them no time to think, no time to answer, just get to it.
That should be your third shoot your shot moment.
That
You got
should
three
be.
shoot your shot moments,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, I love it. Going into your support system, I love to hear that. And I remember when I first met you actually with Coach Jen Welter, when you were at the Red Rock. I think she was either with her speaking at an event. I met you and your mom. I think it was at Red Rock. How is she, or was she an influence? Like, how did that connection kind of come together, right? Because, we're talking about a lot of firsts here. You're the first to get the D1 scholarship. Your coach is the first one to start that at the program. And she was the first NFL, women's coach. So how was that relationship formed? And she told me that she introduced me like, oh, this is the one. That's how she introduced me to you. So
Yeah, so I actually call her my auntie. So I'm not sure what event we met at, but I thought she was super cool. She's a yapper just like me. So, we were just talking. She was telling me all her stories about, the NFL and her playing tackle, and just her experience, which was so amazing to me, because again, like, I was young. I never thought that it was that big. I was like, wow, you got to play tackle, you got to coach in the NFL. Like, that was just so amazing to me. And ever since that, we've been very close. We do keep in contact. We like to call and text just about like all the things that's happening, whether it's just like football or off the field, all the things. And in my culture, it is respectful to call everybody like auntie and uncle. So like, the first thing that came out of my mouth was like, oh, hey auntie, hey auntie Jen. And she's like, oh, like, you're so cute. So then she calls me her niece, and then we've just stuck with that ever since. So every time, I'm just like, oh, this is my auntie, oh, this is my niece, kind of like that. So yeah, she's definitely has been an example for me, and just kind of like a role model. Yeah, it's just crazy to see that, especially for me being at a young age when I first met her, and like just starting to play. Like, she definitely kind of pushed me, because that is an amazing goal. I don't have to necessarily coach in the NFL, but that's just amazing that she had the opportunity to do that, because she played and she had that experience and she understood and had football knowledge.
and what she saw in you, like she really like
Yeah.
poured in you, and like I said, that's how she introduced me to you. Like this is the one, and you definitely turned out to be that. So good stuff. Go ahead, MH.
No, you handle everything, and I'm always really impressed by obviously your mannerisms and how you speak for yourself and communicate. But I'm sure there's a lot of transition going on right now. Obviously, going to college and graduating, and we talking about the Super Bowl, and how do you balance all that and kind of stay still true to yourself?
I would definitely say probably my heavenly Father and my faith. You know, I think if I do everything through Christ, it'll kind of always center my life. I'll be back on track. You know, obviously it gets hard to balance things, to balance school, to balance new transitions, new things, family, friends, social life. Like there's so many things, that I have to balance. But again, like it all comes down to kind of that for me. I think a lot of things that I do is because of my faith and because the things that I believe in and kind of the person that I am kind of shows that. Um so I think again a lot of the times I have to regroup. I have to come back to what I've always been raised to kind of just go to, you know. So I always come back to that and I always snap back to reality and just be like, "You know what? I just need to calm down. I need to be in the moment. I need to just really focus on what's important and control the things that I can control."
Wow, man.
Yeah, that noise in the background is my mom saying "Amen." So she's saying "Amen" from Kansas City. So yeah,
Shout out to moms. All right, MH, you ready for the third and longs, man?
I am. So Lolo, just random questions so our guests can know you a little better. What's one of your nicknames?
Ki'LoLo, low, Ki'LoLo for Sholo, the goat. No, I'm just kidding.
The go-
Oh, there we go.
there we go. First thing you like to do when you wake up?
Brush my teeth, pray. It depends.
Favorite TV show right now?
Uh, I don't watch TV that much. I'm
Okay.
always on the go. I don't really.
Apple or Android?
Oh, Apple, of course.
Okay. A trend that you just don't get.
Oh, all the sports trends, like where they're like breaking people's ankles and they have to like stop the clip in the middle. Like I just feel so bad. Like, dang, you already juked them out. Like you don't have to post a clip of them just like pausing the clip is crazy. I mean, like, I get it. Like, that's a cute clip, but slowing it down and pausing it so everybody can see is just something I won't ever understand.
All right, my last one. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles. Yeah.
Excellent. And then you said Apple, right?
Yeah.
Oh, she
Okay.
said you didn't have to revisit
I
that.
just wanted to make sure that you heard that.
Whatever.
Got
Anyway,
you.
I think we should get that question off. Anyway,
You about to 0 for 1,000.
no, we had two. Trust
We
me,
had
I'm
two?
keeping count.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are.
Anyway, back on track. So this is the winner's circle. This is where we just get to talk about all the awesome things that you got going on, and just really ask some other kind of questions to let people know more about. I think the sentiments that we did in the pre-show, and you've also spoke it into existence a couple of times, is it's not just about you. And that you really want to open doors and windows and side doors and everything for as many people as you can, and also that you understand that it's bigger than you, and that's amazing to have that level of success that you have, but have that mindset as you're kind of moving forward. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, right? So have you found the vehicle, or and it may be too early, so don't feel like you need to have this answer, but you have a voice on the field, right? Like, which is your play, and then how you talk to DBs and then you smoke them, or the other way around. But you have your voice on the field. What do you want your voice off the field to be, right? Like, have you kind of thought about that, or I guess I'll just shut up and let you answer the question and then dig deeper if you have any other kind of follow-up questions for that.
Yeah, I think again, I just want people to know me more for me. more than just a flag football player. And that's kind of why I like to showcase my personality wherever I am, because I want them to understand me, not just know me as, a flag football player or just another girl that they're playing against or playing with, like it is very important to kind of set the culture. I am very big on, culture, whether it's football culture or your actual culture. So it's just like building um something and building the culture within just a community or wherever you are is so important to me. And that's why, again, it is bigger than me. Again, I want people to know me, but it's not all about me. For example, this year I chose not to go to USA tryouts because I was given the opportunity to start a league in San Diego for girls that don't have the opportunity to play. They live in bad areas or they just can't, they don't have transportation, all that kind of stuff. And that was so important to me, and that was obviously a hard decision, but again, how am I going to spread the game if I'm just thinking about me all the time? My main goal is to open windows and open doors for other athletes and younger girls and our next generation,
That's
so
awesome. That's
that was that's kind of like the example that I have, where it's just like it is more than me. Again, we're trying to grow the game, and we can only grow the game if we're just taking the opportunities that lead us to girls, um, and lead us to just really growing it, if that makes sense.
no, 100%.
I was very blessed with the opportunity to go out there and start that league, and they actually named it after me, so that was amazing. Um, and yeah, I think, again, like I just want people to know me for me and know that it it's more than just a game, and it's more than just yourself. It's the flag community. It really is a big family, so we just need to keep it like that and continue to just spread awareness of that.
So with that, what is the name of the league? And can we like so we can post, tag, and talk about, but what's the name of the league or
Yes.
the program or
So they're called Black Widows. You should be able to find them on Instagram. um we just started it a couple months ago. And I do go out there and kind of just check in on them and see how it's going, but they seem to be doing great. I did see them at this most recent hard count nationals, so that was amazing just to get to see them. Like I just saw them at that the combine that I held like that weekend. So we started they had a combine within their club, the Black Widows Club, and it's like all the girls came. They got to do that, and then the next day, I actually held the camp. I wasn't planning on to, but I did it anyway, just because I felt like that was great. Like we all got together the day before. I might as well just get together the next day, and that was actually my first camp. So yeah, we got to get together, and that was the last time I seen them. And just to see them, like going to tournaments and playing competitively, and even if they lose, and even if they have some shutouts, like it's such an amazing feeling to just see them being able to play competitively, because that's why we started the program, or that's why they started it. And I was just blessed to kind of be there and help them get there and be that example for them. And yeah.
So I think the total count of high school or states that are high school sanctioned is around 17 or 18
Yes.
right now for girls flag football. But talk about to some of our audience that are all over the country about the pipelines that are already in existence as we kind of continue to grow the game. What are the pipelines are? What are the kind of the steps and navigation systems that girls can get into if they're listening on this?
Um, Sorry. Can you ask the question?
And you don't have to go too deep in it, but like, what are the steps to get to where you are, right? If
Yeah.
this is a young girl starting in the game right now.
Yeah, so like I said, dedication is so important. Consistency is also very important. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. Um, if you want to do it, just go for it. Again, I was terrible at the beginning. You're not always going to be good at something that you want to do right away. But again, with practice and consistency, it's always going to lead you in the right direction. And again, for me, a strong suit was, again, my heavenly father. I would always lean back on Christ and stuff like that, so that's kind of what pushed me. So you just have to find your reason. You have to find what helps you kind of get back to just reality and calm you down. So I think just getting yourself out there, and always remembering who you are and always choosing, the harder right instead of the easier wrong is so important. You're always gonna um be the person to lead yourself to success. The way you react to things, the way that you play, the work that you put in, all of it is very important. So I would just say, again, consistency and dedication.
All right, so you're Alabama State, and you guys are coming off your second natty, right? You guys already won your second national championship there. Nevada State just launched their flag football program here in Las
Oh,
Vegas. Could you possibly come home and win a champ for your home state?
I actually love everyone that has committed to Nevada State. The coaches are amazing. The coaches are amazing. We already know it's Pap from Gorman. He's amazing. And then Todd, they both coach club teams and high school teams. So they definitely have a lot of experience. I know they're about to blow teams out. I did, consider them. I obviously wanted, to one, like, stay home. I know all the girls. I would be comfortable on that team. I know the coaches, they're amazing. Again, but had to think about everyone else. That opportunity was just amazing. And I couldn't let it go.
No, we love the path that you're going on. I believe that it's great for you to get away to experience life and do that. So definitely was just kind of teasing you there. But we would love to hopefully, if they're in the same division, and we get to see them play, however that works. But had to put that out there. MH, you had anything else before we jump into the coaching assist?
Nah, I'll get to it at the end about some food recommendations in Montgomery, Alabama. But I'll get that to the end.
All right. Well, Key, this is where we kind of ask for the coaching assists, where you get to drop some gems, right? This is where you get to, maybe give a life philosophy or words to live by, or maybe your favorite quote that someone's kind of imparted on you, or maybe something you would tell your younger self. But this is, like I said, what we call the coaching assist. So drop some gems.
Okay. Um, so I think I said this earlier, but always choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. My parents have always kind of instilled that into me and my siblings. It's just very important, like in every aspect of life. You're always gonna go through things, you're always gonna have battles, whether it's on or off the field. Um, but whether it's hard or not to make that right decision, you always should make it because it's only gonna make you better as a player, as a person. Um, and it just teaches you patience. It teaches you everything that you need to have to succeed. um I would also say, um let's see, sorry, I use the word consistency a lot. I was just talking about that, but consistency is so important, you know um that's going to make you stand out. Coaches are always looking for consistency. Your teammates are always going to look at you. You need to be that, like, you want to be that player that's always consistent. That coach can just throw you in and be like, okay, go catch this ball, go run this route, go do what you need to do and do your job good. um so again, and with consistency, it comes hard work. You always have to be consistent in your work ethic because that's what's getting you to where you need to be. There's always going to be someone else working harder than you, or as hard as you, and if you're not consistent in your work, it's not going to get you anywhere. Um, and then I just say have fun. Like, it's easy to say have fun. Like when you're losing, like, you're not gonna have fun. You're gonna be in a bad mood. But again, um, there's so much more to the sport, you know. And I feel like flag football is a very fun sport. I mean, it is very competitive, but for me, it has been very fun. At the end of the day, like, if we lose a championship, I'm gonna be sad. But then again, I'll be thinking about the things that we got to go through, or like the moments where me and my teammates are celebrating each other and stuff like that. So it's like, at the end of the day, we have to think of the positives. And then one more thing is, don't be too hard on yourself. I think for me, I definitely set the bar all the way up. And whenever I don't reach it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just so terrible. I should just quit and just, like, never play football again. But again, with that, um, it just makes you, it just messes up your mental. You have to understand that you're gonna make mistakes. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. And um if we just continue to, again, be consistent, it's only going to help us. And we're not consistent as in our mindset. We always have to focus on, what's good. We have to have that goldfish memory and forget what mistakes we just made, because we have to keep going. There's still more game, whether there's 2 minutes or 20 minutes. There's always, more game or more games to play. So we always have to have, that mindset of just like, it's okay. I need to work on it, and don't push it behind you, but you can work on it without always like beating yourself up. But that's pretty much it.
The gems is dropped. There we go. But keep moving forward. I love that consistency and that mindset. So, MH, man, go ahead and give us a final thoughts.
No, just happy for you, Lolo. And the only piece of advice I would say is enjoy being a college athlete. It's going to be the best time of your life, particularly where you're at. But you're going to have a enjoyable experience. So take it all in and enjoy every step of the process. And then Mrs. B's home cooked barbecue over there. Home cooked, yeah, please. It's by the Air Force Base.
Okay.
Metro Air Force Base. Yeah, hit that up. It's closed on Saturdays, but every other day.
Okay.
Go do your thing with that. That's good stuff over there. But no, happy for you. Thank you for letting us be a small piece of your journey as you continue to grow. Excited for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much for the time. I know you're running and you're busy. So like, from two of your newer uncles, we definitely thank you for jumping on and looking forward to continue to follow and watch success. So we want to thank our guest, Ki'LoLo, for jumping on. We want to most importantly thank you, the listeners, for listening and watching. As we know, you have time in your day and you choose to spend a little time with us and our guests. So please continue to watch. We drop a new show every Thursday. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, because visual representation matters. If you see it, you can be it. And then please subscribe. You can listen to the show anywhere you listen to podcasts. And as we always say when we sign off, please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yo. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap.